Hey, good afternoon, fam. Good afternoon. Hope all is well with everybody. Hope all is well with everybody. Excuse me, guys. My allergies is kicking in. It started yesterday, so got a little bit of tea right here to soothe me a little bit. So yeah, quickly, and because I don't want it to be a real long one today, but I get these articles, right? That comes into my email, my feed, and stuff like that, right? And I have another one for you guys. And the thing is, to me, like, I don't understand why people don't understand life insurance and the benefit of life insurance. You understand? I don't understand the reason why people value, having a mortgage or a home more than. To me, I'm a common sense person. I just try to understand how people don't see what I see. You know what I'm saying? What's going on up here, right? Because in this article, it says, my mother died at age 78, leaving me her fully owned home, but also a HELOC, home equity line of credit, and credit card debt with no life insurance or savings. I did a video a while back and it got a lot of reviews, a lot of comments, a lot of views and things like that, right? There was some people in there arguing me about how a mortgage or a house is the best thing since sliced bread and everybody should own a home. And I did a video explaining why I personally believe home ownership is destroying people's ability to save for the long term. People's investments and retirement are being minimized so people can buy a mortgage or pay for their mortgage. You have people that before they bought their home, they was contributing 15 to 20% in their 401k and IRA. Now that they went to buy a house and they want to make sure that they can afford the mortgage, right? They now minimize how much they're contributing into their 401k, their 403b, their TSP, their IRAs. So that way they can afford the mortgage. But the problem with that scenario is you're minimizing future money to be able to pay a debt today. It doesn't make sense. So that even after you pay the debt off, the money that you now save for your retirement is minimal and you're probably going to run out of it before you die. And you might still have a mortgage left over. So you've really defeated yourself all the way around just to own this home. I was watching a podcast earlier, right? And it's from this young lady, Mandy B TV, right? And she was having a debate. I forgot the gentleman's name. And the guy, he loved real estate. Everything's real estate, right? And why everybody should have real estate. And she's telling him that she believes renting is less expensive than owning. And she's right. I 1000% agree with her. Because if you get, first of all, let's start with down payment money. Okay? Down payment money, 40,000, 50,000, 80,000, right? This is if you want a nice home in a nice neighborhood, right? You coming up with some bread, okay, to make that happen for you and your family, right? So that's money right there that you already taken out of from your long. There are people who take out a significant amount of money from their 401k, because the thing with the 401k is this: they allow you to access it if you're buying your first home. So some people go in there and take out 50 G's, 60 G's, 70 G's to put down on a house. And even that amount to put down, it doesn't even take the monthly payment down that significantly. You're just putting it down just to put it down, right? And then you go into this home. Now, here's the thing. People say, well, if I rent, the rent goes up every year. Yes and no. You can negotiate that with your landlord. That's one. But number two, though, what you cannot negotiate, though, is those property taxes going up every single year or every 5 years. Okay? So your mortgage itself, payment itself, might be fixed. But if then property tax goes up, now your total mortgage itself, because your taxes and your mortgage are all combined. So if the property tax goes up, your mortgage goes up. This is why a lot of people are losing their home right now. A lot of people losing two reasons. They bought the house, the realtor tells them, oh yeah, it's only 7%. You can refinance a year, the rates ain't gonna stay like this. And a lot of people did it, and the rates didn't go down. It's just not starting to go down, but it's not significant enough to help out financially. So you have people right now who are foreclosing, losing their homes, just to say they own a home. Let me share this with you guys. And I want the light, I want you guys to put on your thinking cap right now, okay? I want you guys to put on your thinking cap. Because to me, I'm a logical person, right? Right now in America, over 50% of the people in America don't have life insurance. Over 50%. Now, can we assume 50% of those people own a mortgage? Right? So based on that article that I just said, where the woman died and left a home equity loan balance and credit cards, and the mother had no life insurance and no savings. You understand? The only way that woman didn't have any savings is because she poured all her money into a property. People don't understand how much this is hurting the American people. Because they sell you on this buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. Oh, why are you renting? There's something wrong with you if you're renting. No, there's not. Now, if you're renting and you're not investing, then yes, then we got to talk about that. But if you're renting and you're saving money that way because you ain't got to put down a huge down payment, you don't have to worry about a massive, property tax increase every single year, right? Because on the average, your rent is going to go about, let's say, $100 a month on the average, in which that one you can negotiate. I'm hearing stories of people who bought homes for $2,500 and now their mortgage is $3,800. Can you imagine that? You bought a mortgage for $2,500. Now your mortgage goes up about $1,300, $1,500 because the property tax increase. Man, listen. I'm gonna urge you guys to stop listening to these people and do some research. Because the average American right now, the average 401k balance, I believe, is like $178,000. 170. Nobody is retiring off of $178,000. And I'm willing to bet, without a shadow of a doubt, that a lot of that is coming from the fact that they own homes, they have to pay mortgages, they got to fix and repair and renovate, they got to mow lawns, they got to fix plumbing, they got to change ACs, they got to fix roofing, gutters, the cabinets, the list goes on and on. On and on. And I hope Mandy B, I'm going to tag her on this. I hope she watched this. Because I think this is what we need to get to all Americans. And because I believe the moment that we start buying these homes is the moment they decide to lower the rates, is the moment they decide to lower the price of this house, to make it affordable, so now you can save for your future. Right now, most people cannot save for their future because they buy. I have a client right now, doctor. She's a doctor. I'm sorry, they're not a client, they're a prospect. I'm trying to get them there, but we're trying to work on the budget, right? Doctor, the lawyer is an IT person, right? And they bought a home for $900K. $900K in Clarksburg, Maryland. The rate is 7%. Almost 9 G's for their mortgage. Now, they need roughly $2 million in life insurance coverage. They also need a tax-free retirement savings account because they make way over the amount to be able to contribute to an IRA. They make over 150. So they can't do it. But after buying the home and every other expense, they can't even afford to put the money together for a decent IUL geared towards their retirement because they had to have a home. Listen, we need to get to a point where we shut our eyes and not care what our neighbors is doing, not care what our friends and family doing, and just do. You know, in my last two or three videos away, I said, listen, I'm willing to gamble that if a person who's renting stays renting, and the money that they was gonna now start to pay for a mortgage, start to invest that into a IUL, and then another person goes out and buy a house, and they save wherever they're gonna save, I'm willing to bet the person renting is gonna ultimately have probably 3 times the savings than the person who owns a home, because the person who's renting is able to put in way more money because they don't have a mortgage. They didn't have to put down a huge down payment. If that person who's renting had 50, 60, 70K, that can go into a long-term investment plan earning 6, 8, 9% interest return. See, when you're in a mortgage, you're actually paying on 7% debt. So you're paying on a debt while another person is paying to make money. Let me explain that to you. You're paying on a debt to pay down a debt. The other person is paying to make money. But people get scared out here. They don't want to feel like they've been left behind. Right? Everybody's buying a house. I gotta buy a house too. I gotta flex and show off for everybody. You're flexing your way to brokenness. You're flexing your way to brokenness. Most Americans cannot retire. Let me read this to you guys. A significant 37% of Americans are estimated to die with an outstanding mortgage balance. Let me read it one more time. A significant 30% of Americans are estimated to die with an outstanding mortgage balance. That's more than 1/3. That's more than 1/3 of the people that buys a home. That's a big number. It was less than this a year or two ago. So which means it's climbing. Cool. This means that a substantial portion of the population may pass away with their home loans still unpaid. And then at the same time, we have 50% plus of the people that have no life insurance. So you have a mortgage, you're probably going to die with that mortgage, and then you don't have any life insurance, so your family can pay that house off. That house will be repossessed back by the bank. So you did all of that for nothing. The likelihood of dying with some form of debt, including mortgages, is high, with an estimated, check this, 73% of Americans facing this situation. Let me read that for you one more time. This is staggering. This is why you gotta do your own research. You gotta skip to your own beat. Don't allow these people to trick you and finesse you into buying these homes. I'm going to say this again. I am not against home. I love houses. I tour houses all the time. I go in it. But my thought process is invest, save, buy the house cash. Let me tell you why. If you buy a house at $500,000, right? $500,000, right? And let's say your mortgage is 7%. So let me do a little bit of math for you guys real quick. And I don't know if you guys know, it's a rule out here called the rule of 72. Okay? And that rule simply states that if you take the number 72 and divide it by whatever interest you're earning or paying on, it will let you know how long it takes for that thing to double. So if you take 72 and you divide it by 7%, that means now that's 10.2. That means now every 10 years or so, that mortgage will double. Let me explain to you. You buy a house for 500 grand right now. 10 years from now, because of the interest rate that you're getting at 7%, that house will now double to the how much you owe will now double to, now goes to 1 million. That's 500 grand in interest. 10 years later, from 1 million to what? 2 million. 10 years after that, guess what? 3 million. Give or take. So you bought the house for 500K to end up possibly paying over $2 million in interest. This is what a lot of people see. People don't listen. That money right there, that's your retirement income going down the drain. You're paying 7% interest rate. You better have a master plan to pay that house off within 7 to 8 years, so you avoid paying that massive amount of rate. You're gonna pay something, but it's a whole lot better than paying almost close to $2 million in interest return. But people don't look at the fine print. Or they look at that as their mortgage payment of $3,000, $4,000 a month. Oh, me and my husband can swing it. Yay, give us the keys. But you just lost $2 million of your life savings that you're giving to the banks in interest. And that's just interest. We ain't talking about repairing nothing. We ain't talking about the possibility of a home assessment and the property value goes up and now your taxes goes up. We ain't talking about that either. And then we have a lot of people out here who bought these homes and are walking around without any life insurances. So now the banks are double dipping. See, what I'm reading to you right here, the banks already know. The information I'm giving you, the bank already know. So they're just sitting down and buying time, waiting for you to pass away, for them to not come get that house back and do it again. Because the likelihood that if you pass away, let's use a husband and wife couple, for example. Your mortgage is $4,500. It's taking two of you to be able to afford that. One person passed away, the other person can't pay that on their own. Boom, that house foreclosed. Let's say it's one person and that person passed away. You're paying $3,500, $300 a month. The likelihood of your kids being able to afford that mortgage, probably slim to none. Boom, that house in foreclosure. So I don't understand, I don't understand people's thought process when it comes to this. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. If you exercise some patience mean 15 to 18 years, and you start to put money away, and I'm going to say IUL, and I'm going to say IUL for a reason, because you're putting the money away. You don't have to worry about the ups and downs of the market compared to if you had it in a 401k or 403b or stocks or whatever like that, right? So you put it in an IUL and your money is constantly growing. It's never going to take a loss. There's a floor you cannot go below. It will never take a loss. That's one. Then two, when I go pull the money out cash to buy my house, I pay zero taxes. And then three, because you've invested in this plan for so long, and let's say you was investing $1,500 a month. So for example, you were renting for $1,800. You knew if you buy this house, your mortgage payment would be like $3,200 or something like that. Okay, let's say $3,000. Okay, that difference right there is what I'm telling you start to put away in an IUL. Okay, now you put that money in there for 18, 20 years or so. You take money out to buy cash. You've done two things. You buy your house now cash, while at the same time, you still have multiple six figures left in there to supplement your retirement income. The way you guys are doing it right now, you're minimizing your retirement savings to funnel money through a mortgage payment that you're never going to end up paying off, right? Right? And at the same time, you've never literally saved enough in your retirement account, 401k, 403b, IRA, to be able to retire off of. And once you start to pull money out, you're hit with about 40% taxes. So I say the IUL because it solves all your problems. With the IUL, if you pass away, there's a death benefit that goes to the family. Okay? Okay? If you live too long, you have income inside of there. Listen, I didn't want to make this a 20+ minute video, but I want to spend some time to educate you guys out there, right? And I'm going to close out by reading this to you guys again. And if you guys are interested in sitting down with me and getting life, especially if you're a homeowner and you're walking around here without mortgage protection, and we use life insurance as what we call mortgage protection, which means if you pass away, your family will get a death proceed equivalent to your loan amount that they can now send to the bank and pay that house off, and the family own the house free and clear. So if you're walking around here without any mortgage protection, give me a call. Let's sit down and see what we can do to help you protect yourself, what you work so hard for, and to make sure your family can still keep that house while you're not here. Okay? My number is 443-208-5480. That is 443-208-5480. Or you can also go to my site, which is TitanEvolutionGroup.com. That's TitanEvolutionGroup.com. And I'm going to close out with this so you guys can have this in your mind. This is information that I get every day. It's information that you guys have access to too. This is nothing hidden, okay? A significant 37% of Americans are estimated to die with an outstanding mortgage balance. That's almost 40% of the people, okay, are estimated to die with
those afflicted with the disease of Trump derangement.
Sorry, guys. Are estimated to die with an outstanding mortgage balance. This means that a substantial portion of the population may pass away with their home loans still unpaid. The likelihood of dying with some form of debt, including mortgages, is high, with an estimated 73% of Americans facing this situation. 73%. And I want to leave you with that. Again, guys, listen, I'm here all day long to educate you. I'm here all day long to help you guys understand that the wealthy don't finance homes. The wealthy buy homes cash because they're not fitting to pay those interest rates. It doesn't make mathematical sense. They get the poor people or the uninformed people, to do that. Okay? They get the people with a sharper's impulse. People with no patience to do that. Because you tell somebody, hey, why don't you save up $300,000? Why don't you save up $400K? Why don't you save up? They're like, I can't. Who can say? I can't save. Yes, you can. Yes, you can if you really want to. Okay? You just have to give it all the things that you buy that you don't really need, all the crazy clothes, shoes, traveling. Let me tell you, the average person, even the person making 60, 70K a year, if they stop spending the way they're spending, can save $300K in 8 to 9 years. The average, you ain't got to be a six-figure earner to save 300, 400K. You have to be a disciplined person to save 300, 400K. And it can happen. Once you've decided that I don't need no more clothes like that. I don't need no more shoes. Or even if you do get them in a bargain at a sale. Okay? Don't, you know what I'm saying? Get away from labels. All these things that's crushing your future earnings. Listen, you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day. Guys, be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.